people how much water they really have. In order to solve a problem, we need to acknowledge that we have one. And when it comes to water, people can easily turn a blind eye, pretending that since water is coming out of the tap now, everything will be fine forever. But some smart, drought-affected countries have adopted simple, innovative measures to make sure their citizens, their communities, and their companies know just how dry their countries are. When I was in Cape Town earlier this year, I saw this electronic billboard on the freeway indicating how much water the city had left. This is an idea they may well have borrowed from Australia when it faced one of the worst droughts of the country's history from 1997 to 2009. Water levels in Melbourne dropped to a very low capacity of almost 26%. But the city didn't yell at people. It didn't plead with them not to use water. They used electronic billboards to flash available levels of water to all citizens across the city. They were honestly telling people how much water they really have and letting them take responsibility for themselves. By the end of the drought, this created such a sense of urgency as well as a sense of community. Nearly 1 out of 3 citizens in Melbourne had invested in installing rainwater holding tanks for their own households. Actions that citizens took didn't stop at installing those tanks. With help from the city, they were able to do something even more impactful. Taking me to lesson 2. Empower people to save water. Melbourne wanted people to spend less water in their homes. And one way to do that is to spend less time in the shower. However, interviews revealed that some people, women in particular, weren't keen on saving water that way. Some of them honestly said, the shower is not just to clean up, it's my sanctuary. It's a space I go to relax, not just clean up. So the city started offering water-efficient shower heads for free. And then now some people complained that the shower heads looked ugly or didn't suit their bathrooms. So what I like to call the shower head team developed a small water flow regulator that can be fitted into existing shower heads. And although shower head beauty doesn't matter much to me, but I loved how the team didn't give up and instead came up with a simple, unique solution to empower people to save water. Within a span of 4 years, more than 460,000 shower heads were replaced. When the small regulator was introduced, more than 100,000 orders of that were done. Melbourne succeeded in reducing the water demand per capita by 50%. In the United Arab Emirates, the second most water-scarce country in the world, officials designed what they called the Business Heroes Toolkit in 2010. The aim was to motivate and empower businesses to reduce water and energy consumption. The toolkit practically taught companies how to measure their existing water consumption levels and consisted of tips to help them reduce those levels. And it worked. Hundreds of organizations downloaded the toolkit, and several of them joined what they called the Corporate Heroes Network, where companies can voluntarily take on a challenge to reduce their water consumption levels to preset targets within a period of 1 year. Companies which completed the challenge saved on average 35% of water. And one company, for example, they implemented as many water-saving tips as they could in their office space. They replaced their toilet flushing techniques, taps, shower heads, you name it. If it saved water, they replaced it, eventually reducing their employees' water consumption by half. Empowering individuals and companies to save water is so critical, yet not sufficient. Countries need to look beyond the status quo and implement country-level actions to save water.